Attention in the talk. What up, everybody? We're back. We're running it. I know it's been a little bit too long, but we're here and we're gonna start bullshitting. We got Sleeveless Mike over here, who I'm sure is as high as a kite, and
yes,
we got
he is 100%.
Who's gonna bless us with whatever statistics we try to throw out there, and I'm just here to party. You know, I don't ever come prepared or anything like that. I just say what's on my mind, and then hope it doesn't get me canceled. So other than that,
we're appreciative that you're wearing a shirt today. It's just, are you
know,
wearing
right?
any bottoms?
I did try to make sure that it blended with my skin tone, so it almost looks, you know what I mean? Like if I go like this.
And look, it's got to be getting a little bit hot and humid out there. I mean, we're getting into spring pretty close, I would assume.
You know,
it's been a mild winter, so tarps are about to be off.
Yes, yeah, they are. I was really upset though. You know what I didn't realize when I first moved here was how much the allergies suck ass. Like, dude, and you know it's coming when you go out to your car and it's covered in yellow pollen, and I'm instantly allergy pills. Let's go.
Flower cum.
We not yellow pollen here. I had that a little bit in Arizona. Here, cottonwood trees. Dude, there's cotton flying everywhere through the air, and it's just, I'm going to be crying all day. My nose is going to be running, and there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it out here in Ohio.
Yeah, it sucks, man. Like, and I've never had allergies in my life until I got here. And Lacey's always had allergies, and she gets here, it's not really that bad. So I don't know if it's old age or if it's the whiskey or the weight or what it is, but I'm not about that life. So I live on, Allegra, or what is it, Allegra, or what? I don't know, whatever it is, whatever.
That's one of them.
So, all right, what we got?
Go ahead. Speaking of these allergy things and plants, have you ever heard of the tree that smells like cum?
No.
There's a tree out there. I'm trying to track down the name. I only heard about this a couple weeks ago. It's like a white blossoming flower tree that apparently smells like fucking hot loads of cum when it's in bloom.
Fuck yeah, dude.
See, I'm finding one here that's ornamental pear tree. I think it starts with a B, like the actual name. But the blooms of the Pyrus Calleriana, also known as the ornamental pear tree, something like that. If you don't recognize the name, maybe you've heard the Aussie nickname cum tree. But apparently when this thing blossoms, like it's an invasive species in parts of California and stuff like that. But when I found out about this, did you guys ever in like elementary school do anything where like it's like you get trees to plant to like help produce oxygen for the earth or some shit for like Earth Day or some shit like that? Or
Arbor Day?
Yeah, some Arbor Day, something like that. Like we would get like pine tree sproutlings that we could plant in our backyard or something like that. I don't completely remember that because my memory's dog shit. But it made me think, like, if there's a cum tree out there and I hate someone, how do I start sending them like putting cum trees in their yard? So everyone's like, that house just smells like fucking a load of jizz.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you plant one of those with hiding it enough?
I'm sure when there's a will, there's a way. And if I hate someone enough to give them a cum tree, you could actually be like, if there's a known hatred between you and one other person, you could be like, I'm trying to give you an olive branch, and as the olive branch, I'm giving you this tree instead. And then they could think everything's good. But then 5 years down the line, their yard starts smelling like cum. And they know that they've been got,
That's a fucking long game right there. That's the long con.
And those are kind of the best ones, They are. Yeah. All right. Sorry to get us on to cum trees so early in the podcast. Is anyone else drinking libations, or Mike, we know that you're partaking in herbal remedies.
I did have some herbal remedies, but I'm also going to drink a beer. I'm going to drink an actual beer, so you guys will quit giving me shit about my seltzers.
Look at that.
Yes, this is a Dortmunder Gold Lager from Great Lakes Brewing Company.
Nice. Perfect. And that I saw you smoking a stove.
My amazing wife, for my anniversary, Valentine's Day, I can't remember. She got me a bottle of the Henry McKenna 10-year bottled in bond. pretty damn good whiskey. I'm not gonna lie.
Now, bottled and
So
bond, for people who don't know, can you explain what that means?
I sure can. So bottled and bond means it comes with this sticker that comes across the top, and that's all I know. So
Okay. Do you know
I
anything
honestly
about
don't
this,
know.
Mike?
I do not. So please enlighten me, Evo.
So I'll look up to make sure that it's official here, but I only found out about this again recently because
I know
one of
what.
my
Matt, you had more than I did, brother. Bottled and bond. I was like, I don't know what any of
we're
that
a knowledge-based podcast here when it comes to alcohol.
clearly.
So I found this
I'm
out about one of my
stoked.
favorite whiskey distilleries up in Utah, because they created a bottle and bond like small batch up there that they're only selling at the distillery, and so it kind of made me sad. But it's a label for American product distilled beverages. It's been aged and bottled according to a set of legal regulations contained in the United States government standards for identifying distilled spirits, as originally specified in the Bottled in Bond Act of 1897. So it's basically a very strict set of rules. I think it has to be a minimum of 10 years or something like that.
Yeah. So mine was barreled on January 15th of 2013, and it was barrel number 13,698.
Here we go. To be labeled as bottled in bond or bonded, the liquor must be produced of one distillation season, January through June or July through December, by one distiller at one distillery. Then it must be aged in a federally bonded warehouse under U.S. government supervision for at least 4 years and bottled at 100 proof. The bottled products label must identify the distillery where it was distilled, and if different, where it was bottled.
So what you're telling me is you got veal whiskey?
Yes, it's
Like,
it's
doesn't
it's
move.
incredibly smooth, especially for 100 proof. Typically, once I get over 100 proof, you start getting a lot more of the burning. So it's probably one of my favorite whiskeys right now, honestly.
I would hope so. Well, so you're smoking a cigar as well, correct?
I am.
I'm a little bit jealous of that. Now you're in your garage. I can't really do that in the house. I suppose I own the house, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. But
Yeah.
I don't feel like smoking in my house, to be honest.
So I have recently picked up some cigar smoking habits. Not very often, maybe once a couple hours. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
But no, it's like on the weekends I smoke one sitting out in the garage. I finally started building that damn room. Got my couch in. I don't know if I sent you guys a picture of it, but so spending a lot more time in the garage doing that. So started smoking some cigars here and there.
do you feel like shit afterwards? Oh, sorry. Go to Mike's.
Sorry. I don't feel like shit afterwards if I only smoke one, but if I'm drinking and I get drunk and I smoke two, like back to back, I'm gonna feel kind of shitty. But you know what? The real thing though that I noticed was my breath stinks the next morning.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Like it's a distinct smell. I like that. That's the part I hate about it.
That's where I'm at with it. I love smoking cigars.
I love smoking cigars as well. I have been off of tobacco since June of last year.
Hell yeah.
The only way I would do anything and go back would be to fucking smoke a cigar.
Yeah, it's for me. I love smoking the cigar as well. I like the flavor. I like the little buzz and everything. But for me, it's when I'm done, because I always smoke them in the evening. The only other time that I really smoke cigars any time of the day was on deployment after a kill shot. Like that was the thing. You get done with the flight and you and your crew go sit down and have a cigar. But it's your breath smells, your entire body and attire smells like the cigar smoke.
Well, you got to change your clothes. You got to wash your hair. You got to
at night.
It permeates everywhere.
That's the thing, is at night, and it's usually when I'm drinking. So then it's like, well, now like I'm drunk. I really don't feel like jumping in the shower right now to wash off. And also my mouth is shit. Like my breath is shit. And so then I wake up in the morning. So I don't feel bad afterwards. It's the next morning where I'm like, I smell and feel like dog shit right now.
And you can't even brush it out, to be honest. Like you brush your teeth, doesn't help.
No.
So I love the smell of cigars. Even all that night after I've smoked one, smelling it on me, no problem. That next morning though, it's stale. It immediately goes fucking stale, and you're like, I've got to fucking take a shower and get the smell off of me. But that smell in the moment, love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the smell doesn't like my garage will smell like a cigar all fucking week now. Like it just I could open these doors up and let it air. I still smell like cigars all week. So
Oh yeah, it permeates. It permeates everything. Well,
My garage smells like a Cypress Hill concert.
oh, I bet. Nice.
uh,
For me, I actually am drinking. I normally don't drink on these, but you know, I for whatever reason this past, I guess we're in March now, but past 30 days or so, I've just really been drinking a lot more than I normally do. Maybe that's a sign that I have a problem right now.
welcome to
Maybe I need to
alcoholism.
go talk to a therapist or something. I don't know why, but I'm not having anything good. I'm having plastic bottle fucking Canadian whiskey because it reminds me of my college days. Look,
God.
there's
Which kind?
the one that I'm having right now. I don't even know. It is just plastic bottle Canadian whiskey.
Right. It didn't even have a
Did
label
you
on
buy
when
it
you
on
got it.
post? Did you get it on post?
No. This is a Walmart one.
No.
It's that Canadian Miss special.
It's something like that, yeah. But back home in Minnesota, and I can't find it down here, but there was a plastic bottle Canadian whiskey called Windsor, which in college was my fucking go-to. It was the
I
shit.
have a buddy who loved Windsor, would swear by it, tried
Yeah.
it. Bro, not a fan.
Dude, like I will take Windsor over Crown any day, like regular Crown, because they don't make different flavored Windsors, but like it's a nostalgia thing for me. Same thing with Busch Light. Like Busch Light,
Busch
in the
Lattes.
pantheon of light beers is nothing special. But I grew up at a young age thinking that they were just nasty sodas that my grandpa drank because he was old and didn't have good taste buds. But then I found out later that they're beers, and now it just tastes, very nostalgic to me and homey. So I love Busch Light.
Right.
Natty Light for me, that takes me right back to end of high school, beginning of college days. Fucking 30 racks of Natty Light because they only cost $15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go for the cheap shit in college too.
Yeah.
It was the Bush Light for me for sure. That was the beer pong beer,
Yep.
in the
Alrighty.
basement.
Well, fun fact of the day that maybe you've never thought about. Did you boys know that your nipples are older than your teeth?
Okay. I mean,
Oh,
I can see that.
it
Makes sense.
Hold on though. Hold on.
What?
Are they?
God.
Are they? Because have you seen the X-ray of like an infant's head or a toddler's head? With all
Where
the
they're
teeth
like
that are
stacked?
dude, it's like actually super creepy looking. But I still think those probably come in later still though. Because your nipples, that's
Well,
in,
you got
in the uterus,
all,
right? In the
all
uterus you get them.
soft. All soft tissues got to be coming in before we're talking about
That's
anything
true.
else.
That's true. And my nipple's been through some shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, we know. We know.
I've been telling Lacey because she's been going and getting her, her piercings in her ears. She got her nose pierced. I was like, I'm gonna go get my nipples pierced again. You keep fucking around. And then I might even go get me a 2-rung Jacob's ladder.
Oh, dude, I don't have room for one rung, nor do I want one.
Well, I thought I was being really gracious with 2 rungs. I mean, one will be right at the fucking tip.
Boys, I found the answer if you want to trust the internet, and its nipples are formed around week 9, while teeth buds begin to form at 11 to 14 weeks.
There you go.
Wow.
There
So
you go.
you were in fact correct. You did.
We got some old titties, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Well, like when I think about the things that are important, give me titties over teeth.
And you know
It's
what?
tough.
man.
Oh,
I do.
now that it comes out of my mouth, maybe I
yeah.
want to pull that back a little bit.
Yeah, now
Look,
I'm thinking about it. Like
I-
for me, I could go without my nipples. I honestly don't care. But my girl, she can have some dentures and give me the gummer action, whereas the nipples, I'm not going to replace them with artificial tits.
No,
I was gonna agree, but I live in Alabama,
Okay, here
where
we go.
not having teeth is a common occurrence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like when I first moved here and I was staying down in Arab, that's south of here, with my buddy Minix. You guys know
hold on.
Chris, right?
That's the name of it. That's the name of a city, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Okay,
That is
just
where our
wanted
boy,
to clarify for the show.
mutual friend of the show, Bobber
Yeah.
Goblin, lives in Arab, and former employee of all of us, Jason Chad Grant, went to high school there.
Yeah. Hey, Scott lived down there too.
Yeah, former sundown town.
Yeah. Yeah. Just not that far former either, really.
Hmm.
Like probably
Actually,
in the
he
last
he
decade.
said yesterday, I believe, that while he lived or was going to school there, they still had a sign up that said like keep your black ass out of this town up or something like that.
Damn.
Jesus
So
Christ.
So
yeah,
I didn't know because that's where I was staying with my buddy Chris out there when I first moved here.
and you
And
were wondering why you were doing all the lynchings.
right, there's so many burning crosses here. I don't know why.
Jeez.
Oh no, apparently they still like in some of these places have like KKK chapters that will go like door to door. It was Lacey who was telling me this. They go door to door with like lollipops and try to recruit.
W- with
Are you
very
shitting me?
subtle with yeah no I mean this was there's actually a news article that happened in Coleman, which isn't too far from Arab. And Coleman, I mean, there's a lot of there's actually like a Black History Museum there too. So like we say all this stuff, but I don't think it's like that as much anymore, like widespread, but it's definitely still exists. You know what I mean? Like in the shadows. It's not like super predominant, but
Well, I mean, if the
um
KKK is going door to door with fucking suckers trying to recruit, that's not necessarily in the shadows.
right. No, I know. But you can Google that story. We read about that like last year because the place we go riding at, there's a state owned off-roading park that's like 1,500 acres or something out there that we go riding. And before we knew that it was like that out there. But what I found really peculiar about going out there is I would always drive past this church, and it's just probably a hole, not a hole in the wall church, but it looked like an extra large double wide trailer, you know, but it has a big ass
Mansion
white
though.
cross in the front, and it has LED lights that kind of go around the cross, and it's always lit up, and I just felt like it meant something else. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but like I don't know.
I mean, religious zealotry has brought out a lot of bad in people. I'll say that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's what like I think I can speak for probably all of us. This show, okay, I'll speak for me here. Racial humor to me is one of the most fun humors because it's more lighthearted than anything, and stereotypes and shit are funny as fuck to me. But in general, I would believe that we all are of the thought process of it doesn't really matter what your skin color is. We all bleed red and we don't give a fuck. That's definitely a military kind of thought
Yeah.
process behind things.
Yeah.
So it blew me away to know that within the country that we're a part of and we're so proud to be a part of, that this sort of shit is still prevalent in
Still
certain areas.
happening.
And
Yeah.
we're isolated from it to an extent, and it isn't talked about pride because there's like shame from these states and stuff that things are still kind of out there. Like when
Right.
look, we hear a lot of things in politics and political speech and stuff about, racism and stuff like that within the country. And a lot of it I blow off as being like, this is more left leaning, just rhetoric.
Hmm.
But in reality, it's still a thing more than I'm even aware of, which it just blows me
Yeah.
away and really upsets me, honestly, that
Yeah.
to know that shit
That-
still
so
goes on.
that's the thing is like it is definitely still there, probably way more than we know because we don't typically see that. I know
And
for
we're
myself,
white.
yeah. If I know that there is somebody that is like that, I make sure to not ever be around that person. It's not a person I want in my circle if I think that they're doing something based on somebody's race. I say that to kind of say we always the race card and the race thing is being blown up a little too much. Everything now, if there is a disagreement between black and white, it is becoming a race thing. That is one of the very first things that is brought out is, would you be saying this if it were for a white guy?
Well,
That is it really kind of dilutes the conversation of people who are like KKK members. Maybe I'm being narrow-minded, but
no, I don't think you're wrong there. The thing is, the problem is it's just become a political tool, is what it is. The
yeah,
the shit and the issue in that is that it does exist, but when it turns into a political tool, you're like you want to just like say shut the fuck up. But it's not because I don't think that it's a problem. It's because I'm tired of you trying to force more division
Yeah.
by using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
You
the
know,
same sort of thing as when you had the Me Too movement kind of take a cultish behavior, and people were trying to Me Too people for clout or for money and things like that. And it's taken away from the women who actually have been violated and abused and things like that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And now you are, basically hijacking what is essentially a noble movement that started in good grounds, and now it's become more of a joke, and it's taken away a lot of we went from a
What makes
situation
it
where women probably felt like they couldn't speak up about these sorts of issues and stuff like that for fear of repercussions and things like that, to all of a sudden feeling like I've got a space and that I can talk about this. And now, because it's been hijacked by these basically radicals of the situation or people that are misusing it, now they're being shunned back into that same spot that they were
yeah.
before. And it's
Uh,
almost like the coffin
like
door open, but now you're nailing it even closed even harder. Like you're stuck there almost. And it's pretty fucking shitty. And the same thing happens when it comes to race and race politics more than anything.
I mean, it's the classic story, the boy who cried wolf, you know what I mean? Like, and I almost think, I mean, that's the goal of these bigger entities that in the politics is they want to create that division by doing that. You know what I mean? You know,
Well,
and
and
to trace back a little bit on the, as far as uh, racial humor and things like that, I know for a fact, coming from Huachuca, coming from the army, I feel like you almost have like blinders on to the regular civilian population. You know, like when you're in the army, it don't matter. We're all like black, white, don't matter. You guys are all sucking ass together.
yeah,
And the way you get through it is through your humor, your comedy. You know what I mean? Like that's just how you do it.
fucking shared trauma, and then you guys bond through that. You're
Exactly.
fucking with each other, lifting each other up.
Right. And it doesn't matter. But then me coming here into more of a corporate area that's
Professional work
not
environment.
right. And I'm not, I don't work with a bunch of ex-military, even though I still do, I'm still more so in it than, working at Microsoft or Google. But
Or what Mike's
um,
doing.
right.
I go to a fucking film school.
Right. Yeah. I can only imagine, dude. Like, can you even talk there? I feel like you should have been
I don't.
kicked out already.
I typically just fucking keep my head down, get good grades, and drive the fuck on, man.
Look, not Mike, Coop's wife, Lacey, has been out here for, a couple days now. And she's basically said, oh, this is like a time capsule. But also, I'm me. I like to push the limits of what would be considered sharp and EO probably in the army. And I understand that I'm towing a thin line here. But I mean, I immediately started just going in on my normal stuff like I do every day. And she was like, holy fuck, this is like taking me back right now, because she's been in this more professional work environment out there for like 2 years. And
You
then
literally
all of a
told me
sudden,
that today.
yeah, all of a sudden it's like I'm back at it, and she's like, nothing's fucking changed out here. You guys are fucking wild. And I'm like, yeah, it's how I get the day to go by, because I try to get a rise out of people. Like, it's fun. But which just re-emboldens the fact that I am glad that I'm still like, I took 6 months off or so when I got out of the military from being in that military environment, and then it feels way more like home to be back around the soldiers and stuff like that. It just feels a lot better to watch them have to do CQ and PT every day, and I get to fucking, not.
Yeah.
So that part's great.
Oh, Evo, you act like when you were in stands that you did any fucking PT, dude. Come on now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not the last 6 months or so. I was on all permanent profiles and everything.
Dude, once
I can
went in
promise you, dude, when I was getting fucking ready to get out of the army, I was on a permanent profile all the way till the end. But I also had paternity leave,
yeah.
and I was in stands, so I didn't really do PT either. It's also why I didn't become an E6 though, because
Like,
when that PT test came up, that fucking it's like, hey, you're going to ALC. I was like, okay, cool, I'll go pass this PT test. Dude, I failed that fucking PT test so goddamn hard.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't run in probably 6 fucking months.
And to answer your question a little bit better, Matt, I don't think anyone in the unit at the time was doing PT.
Yeah, no,
Like it
no.
wasn't just a stance thing at that point. I'm not going to say that I was like not ditching out on it, but I think everybody was.
Oh, dude, when we came back from QRC, like I didn't do shit. I barely came to work. Like
It was wild to me.
we didn't
So
do
I
nothing. But
came,
no one was tracking us at all.
yeah. Well, I came from my shadow platoon in Germany where we weren't able to fly. So we were doing training with the infantry guys all the time. And I was not only in good shape because of that, but also in just a fit of depression because my ex was sucking and fucking everybody that she could. And so, you know,
I
the
must have
classic
missed that
Jody
line.
story. So yeah, well, you missed out, I guess, you know. Thanks to several members of Minnesota Twins management. Shout out to them. But
Oh, she was getting that ball player dick.
yeah.
Fuck yeah, bud.
But yeah, so I was in a spot where it was like, well, I'm going to fucking continue working out because A, it's gonna better myself, but B, I need to release some aggression this way. And I was in really good fucking shape when I got to Huachuca. And then after Great Eagle training and QRC, your boy put on a good 40 pounds
Hell
and
yeah.
was enjoying life at that point. So yeah.
With mine, it was like my career was basically, go deploy shadow, me, you, Mike, and then come back, do Grego training, deploy again with QRC with Evo, and then come back and literally go to Fort Drum and then deploy again. So I don't even remember. The only time I remember doing a PT test in the States was when I was trying to go to WLC right before our deployment, Evo. And that was it, just for WLC. Outside of that, it was always in great shape because I was deployed and it was, in between there.
My last PT test with the 213th was for ALC. I had already signed a deck statement saying I was getting out, but they kept on trying to get me to say, like, stay in. They're like, oh, we're going to, like, you already we're promotable and everything, like, just re-enlist and you're going to be a 6 and blah, blah, blah. And we'll send you to ALC. And I was like, I don't want to go. And I know that these slots are tough to come by right now. Give it to someone else. And they wouldn't take it away from me. And so they do the, battalion PT test for ALC. I do one push-up and I stand up and I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm done. Right. Like, I'm not going, I'm failing. And then I went 30 minutes later and did a PT test with the company and passed it to get that flag taken off of me. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. I signed a deck statement. I'm not staying in.
Army tried to send me to Korea with 3 months left on my contract and had to go through and do a deck statement and get all that shit canceled right before I was getting the fuck out. That was cool.
Yeah. I made a lot of good choices in my military career with the things I did. The worst one that I did was sign the deck statement when I did, though, because I had just gone to the board, just gotten my P status. I was going to be promoted within like 30 days. And then orders came down for me to go to Irwin. I was like, A, I'm not going to Irwin. And B, I'm not staying in anymore. I'm getting out. And so I just signed the deck statement on the spot. If I had just waited, because I didn't know, but there's like not a timeline for the deck statement. I could have just not done anything and sat on my hands and gotten promoted and then signed the deck statement.
Yeah.
Because I was in the Army then for another 2 years on a deck statement.
Right.
No shit.
I should have just done that. So I missed out on money and rank and all that shit.
Yeah, but you know what, though? You can't dwell on decisions like that, man. Because I look at I was faced with signing the deck statement after our QRC. And it was like either extend and take your PCS to Fort Drum, or sign a deck statement and stay here until you get out, because I didn't have enough time to do my PCS. And I signed the deck statement, and in the moment, within that year, I probably thought it was the worst thing I ever did. Or no, I didn't sign. I'm sorry, I didn't sign the deck statement. I extended. Did I say that right? Either way, I extended, and within that first year, because that's when my first marriage, went off the deep end. Well, I mean, there was a lot of things from our deployment, but in the end, I ended up meeting Lacey. You know what I mean? Which was the best thing to ever fucking happen to me. Like, if you wouldn't have sent that deck statement, who knows what you would have got convinced to do, and you wouldn't be sitting there with Hannah in your house. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that's the way I look at things, dude. Everything happens for a reason.
I regret it, but honestly, like, I can't complain with the path that I'm on. So, yeah, absolutely.
Everything does happen for a reason. Sometimes that reason is because you're stupid, and or Or you can't fight. So that's going to take us, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to take us to our first video. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's fucking ridiculous.
Send it. Let's do it. I have seen this.
Oh, that's going to make it. Okay.
I have not.
That's what we're going with. All right. So the guy in the white is going to have a bad fucking time, Matt.
He's leaning into it.
Just disrespectful.
Yeah. Oh my god!
In the best way.
Damn.
That one gets me. He does the little cat paw on him.
Oh, whoop. Dang.
Whoop. Whoop.
It's like when you're fighting the computer on expert mode.
Dude, I promise you, if this happens in a fight with somebody, that person's not leaving the arena.
Oh my
God.
God.
Is the back end here too?
Yeah, like this is why guns were invented, because there's no fucking way.
How embarrassing is that,
dude? Yeah. And apparently this guy fought like this a lot, but that video will live in my head for forever, dude.
Honestly, the guy that was dodging everything there and being real cocky, you can't pay for that sort of feeling, you know. Honestly, like he has to feel like the shit for a while.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of mentality you almost have to have, though, to be the best at what you do. You know what I mean? Like, sadly, you know,
it's borderlining into cocky from Moxie. I mean, that one definitely cocky, but like, yeah, you have to ride that line correctly where you're not that cocky, where you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. I mean, if he goes up against like, you know, the best boxer in the world type thing, he's going to get his ass whooped. I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean, he fought Mayweather. Like this guy fought at the highest level, but was never a champion. He was one of those guys that was kind of a middling guy. But you can put him on on any card, and it's going to instantly raise the entertainment value.
Well, that's what I was just about to say, right? I mean, they're showmen. That's what it is. Like, they're fighters, but they're showmen. So, like, the dude knows how to catch a crowd and how to get views. So you can't even be mad at him for it. Like, I guarantee you, yeah, he's got a big ego and he's cocky, but he's also like, it's built that way because he is, you know, it gets him what he's trying to achieve.
He earned that shit.
Fuck yeah.
But yep. All right, that was my first video, guys. Evo, you got anything?
I'm not bringing any videos today. I'm just
videos,
bringing some thought, you know, talking about nipple and teeth ages and stuff like that.
Good views.
So I'm probably putting us a little bit on the spot here, but this is an open, safe space for it. Religious stuff.
Okay.
This is going to breach into that a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
I'll start off. I personally consider myself to be relatively agnostic. Now, I wouldn't say so much atheist, though. I suppose I could see myself leaning that way, but it's like, I just don't know about it. What are you guys? What would you consider yourself in that spectrum of religious belief?
Go ahead, Matt.
I'm a Christian. So, you know, I know that, yeah, you did put us on the spot right now. I got to feel bad about smoking the cigar and drinking this whiskey.
God created it, right?
Right. He did. Right. So, either way, you know, I believe in God, and I believe Jesus Christ, you know, died on the cross for our sins. And, you know, you got to ask him into your heart and you go to heaven. Go be with the big man one day. That's what I think.
Alrighty.
So for me, I believe in God, but I don't do any of the religions or any of the prophets. I don't do the Jesus, the Muhammad, none of that. Like what I believe is kind of my
good
own
thing Jesus
thing.
wasn't a prophet. So,
well, whatever the hell he is,
right,
the Messiah. Okay, I don't know. I'm not
to become Bible talk. talk.
Yeah.
Me and
Get
Mike
it?
have had this
Ah.
conversation plenty of
Yeah.
times.
Listen, there's no way that's in my mind that it's fucking possible that all of this was created from nothing, because that doesn't fucking work. There had to have been something, and then super, super dense, and then it fucking exploded. What that thing was what I'm going to consider God, because it created all things that are possible, like consciousness. So that's what I believe. God was a real thing, fucking exploded, and now we have a universe, and he's probably not there anymore. But here's the nice thing: the way heaven kind of lays out, you go and are reformed with your creator. Well, if God was the fucking thing that blew up, when you die and you go back into the earth, you're rejoined with your creator. So that's what I believe.
Matter can't be created nor destroyed, right? So, like,
Bingo. Like, it had to come fucking somewhere, bro.
right.
So I only asked this question just so that everyone that's watching can kind of get a baseline of where each of us will come from for this next question that we can each answer in our own way. Take yourself back to an age when you were a single man. If you had the choice, would you prefer to date a hardcore religious girl, like I'm talking hardcore religious, or a hardcore vegan?
Did not think we were going that route, but
Yeah. Because I think I can fairly speak for all of us.
Yeah.
We eat meat,
Right.
but I don't know where everyone stands on the religious path. So I wanted to get that for the viewers, like understand where we might be coming from a
Hold on,
religious
wait.
standpoint.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do vegans suck dick?
They don't
Yeah.
swallow, I bet.
They're
because
putting
What? Let's go to Google. My FBI agent is going to be pissed.
Yeah.
because
First question.
that's going to be a big.
What's old
I mean,
nipples or teeth?
look,
And now it's going
they
to
can't
be
swallow. That's animal
Dude.
product, right? So
Yes, like
Suck
that's.
thick. Maybe I should make this a little bit more.
do they
Do
swallow?
vegans
That's the real question.
Form fellatio.
do oral sex? Oops, I spelled sex the wrong way. SECKX.
It's not ANAL.
There is no
Sometimes
known
it is.
negative health effects from swallowing. However, a vegan woman might only engage in oral sex with a vegan man. Some vegan men and women claim their partners actually
Oh.
Who
taste
wants that
better.
pineapple juice?
yeah, it's got to be, sourced
'Cause I'm
correctly, of
spitting
course.
straight tallow, dude. That's it.
All right,
Oh
clip it.
man,
Clip it.
that might go into the clips.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'll kind of start this off. Being an agnostic person, sometimes like I could care less what your religion is, what your beliefs are. Go ahead and believe it. We are probably going to disagree on certain things, but it doesn't prevent me from, liking you as a person and things like that in most cases. However, a hardcore religious person, no sex before marriage, gays are bad, that sort of stuff, like I just can't do. On the other hand, I eat meat and it is going to be a regular part of my diet. And if I have a hardcore vegan person in my life who doesn't want meat in the household and stuff like that, but I have to choose one of these two people to be with, like long-term, possibly marriage type situation. Like now I'm at a severe crossroads. Okay. Like I'm sure that we've all done some stupid stuff for tail before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you not eat meat, or would you start becoming a Hasidic Jew, Christian, Muslim, whatever?
Yeah,
Like,
I got this. I know where I'm going.
okay, go for it.
I'm going with the hardcore religious girl. Because here's the thing. I can still jerk off. I can still get to that point. I can't have sex, but I can jerk off. Right? I don't have to follow all the religious things. But if I'm with the vegan and she's expecting me, that's not going to happen. We're not doing this. I'm not listening to this fucking argument every goddamn day while you watch me eat a burger or a steak. I can go jerk off in private.
But what if she is
There's no substitute for a steak. I don't care what you do to cauliflower. You're never going to make it fucking taste like a steak.
Mike, what if that vegan girl is basically Gandalf. She's the headmaster of Hogwarts.
Oh,
You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? You can play with your wand, illuminate it like nobody's business.
Fuck, but you're gonna eat your goddamn
Peace
asparagus.
Peace is far more important to me, dude. I'd rather fucking jerk off in peace and live in a peaceful house than listen to her bitch about me eating a fucking hamburger.
All right. So here's
I'm prioritizing peace.
I assume that Cooper's going for the religious girl too, based on his.
There's a few deltas we have to take care of in this real quick. You said back in the time of my single life, you know, I was
like,
married.
let's assume that we never, you didn't have a wife and kids before or anything like that. That you could be your age right now and have never met.
Because that changes things.
Something like that.
Things.
Assume that we are
back when I was younger, it would just be straight getting laid. If it religious girl probably ain't doing it. I mean, I'll eat a hamburger in the back of my car. You know what I mean? Like if it means I'm getting laid in the house, you know. But
fair enough.
But now
coming in, she's gonna be a key. You smell like fucking McDonald's.
Yeah.
Come here.
She tasted in my cum. It would probably be the religious girl. Now it's kind of same deal, dude. I could not deal with. I mean, I guess the bitching would be there either way, right? Because if you're extremely religious and then you're not trying to get down, then you're going to be bitching at me about trying to get down, right? Because I don't.
You're persistent.
We're fucking.
Yeah.
Like either we're fucking like, or I'm fucking.
Right, like you got to go to sleep, right? So I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We do not advocate rape on this show,
right? I'm just kidding. But
yeah, and look for me. I think it's funny how we all end up leaning towards that. Because I'm the same way. I think you have to go with the religious girl because I'm not gonna like. At the end of the day, if we're gonna break this down to brass tacks, you know, what do you need to survive? Oxygen, water, shelter, food, right? And food is one of those things. Pussy is great.
It's a luxury though.
But in that spectrum,
sorry to say it. Sorry to say it like that.
Sorry, ladies. You're not, you know, this is great, but a good steak every now and then.
It's true. You literally die.
Yeah. So, like,
could you imagine never eating meat again? I couldn't fucking even consider it.
No.
Okay, then we'll kind of switch the question up again.
Dude, I've been doing carnivore. I only eat meat.
If you were to get paid, we'll say, what's your money limit? Like, if you were to get paid $10 billion to never eat meat again.
Okay, we're talking billion, sure. If you get into B's, then we're having a conversation about anything. It doesn't fucking matter.
So, I mean, so in the hierarchy, what
happens? Like as soon as you eat
the hierarchy here, the hierarchy is money, meat, pussy. We're misogynist boys.
Nah.
I feel like there's a calculated way to make this work, though. You know what I mean? Like, so I would take the 10 billion because I imagine the idea would be like, okay, they gave you that money, and as soon as you take a bite of meat, there's no way to hide it. Like
it's gone, right? Instantly
it would be gone, right? So I would.
But do you have to pay it back like anything that you've used since then? That's the only way that it would work.
Well, I would imagine that you would have to, right?
There'd have to be reparations.
If you had 10 billion, though, you could turn 10 billion into 10 billion 300 million pretty quickly, right? So like I would
Matt, you're onto something.
Yeah,
you're onto something here.
I would use it and go vegan for like a year and create a vast amount of wealth with it, and then eat meat, give back the 10 billion and still be rich, right? Does that work? Is that in the rules or no?
Unless I'm sure that these lawyers that would be building up this fucking plan would have ways to say like any of the money that you had received plus any way that money has made you more money and benefited you, it all has to be returned. And if that puts you in forever debt, it just is what it is. Like that's like
there are so many ways to hide your money nowadays that you could stash. Like
I would have assumed that we would have been like,
baby.
Yeah, you know what? I'll deal with having all that money because I'll be so fucked up on drugs or something like that, I won't give a fuck about meat.
That's fair enough. If I had $10 billion and it was just handed to me, I probably wouldn't even make it a year, to be honest. Right?
Yeah. We'd probably find ways to fucking off ourselves, unfortunately.
I would
You know,
almost certainly do something stupid.
Yeah.
this is great. This is a great segue into a topic that I didn't even think about bringing up until now. Have you guys seen that the 3D printed meat that they're doing now?
Seen it? No.
Yeah.
Heard of it? Yes.
So
So-
the synthetic meat.
Right. I don't know all the gists of it, but essentially growing, like taking proteins or stem cells or whatever, I don't know what it is exactly, and growing these meat fibers, right? And then like mass producing it and then literally printing it out in the shape of steaks, right? Like,
Yeah.
how fucking nuts is that? And that is not, there's gonna be repercussions from that, like in your health later on when those stem cells start growing something else inside of you.
Yeah, I don't trust it.
No, it's
I
gonna
don't
be
think
nuts.
that's just me being too old school with it. Like, I just have a distrust of certain things like that.
Just
You know,
go
the
get your
Impossible Burger
tinfoil
I
now.
won't have. Am I curious as to what an Impossible Burger is like? Sure, but it's not worth it to me because you know what? A regular Whopper is just as good.
You know, but like this is a whole nother level, right? The Impossible Burger, that's just soy created into flavor, like to taste like meat.
Which I don't know why people are. The Impossible Burger is fucking stupid, anyways. Do they cook it on a separate goddamn grill? If they're not cooking it on a different fucking grill, then it's still mixed with the meat.
It's true.
So what the fuck's the point of the Impossible Burger?
No, you
Somebody
know, honestly,
explain that to me.
I doubt.
It's
I
just
wonder
marketing.
is the Impossible Burger even made on the grill though? Like it's probably a frozen patty that they microwave. To be fair,
No.
Not a fucking clue. But you know what? I
You know who does
guarantee
know?
that the business execs at Burger King
Google.
probably did a cost benefit analysis to say how much is it going to cost us to make this thing versus how are we going to reach enough people in a market to make money off of it, and decided that yeah they would. So kudos to them for capitalism, but I'm not touching that shit.
No.
Yeah, agreed. Well,
Alrighty.
gentlemen, I have another video for us, and it actually kind of tie into some of the shit that we've been talking about. You know, misogyny and money.
Yeah, go for
Fuck
it.
yeah, dude. My
All right.
favorite two topics.
These are talk topics for sure.
Yeah, these
fucking are.
definitely
Cum
top
trees, nipple teeth,
nipple teeth.
misogyny.
Here we go.
And come.
Would you punch me in the face for $1 billion?
I punch you in the face for $40.
40.
Billion? $1 billion. You'd have trouble getting me off of you for $1 billion. I would hit you with a snow shovel in front of your mom for $1 billion. $1 billion. I don't even care if I have to pay taxes on it.
Wow.
Back over you with my car.
Wow.
$1 billion.
Would you punch me in the
All right, guys, how much it's gonna take?
All right, real quick before we answer these questions, you
Yeah,
remember
because
the
we're gonna
last
get in trouble.
time, right? Well, no, the last time Evo got smacked in the face with a belt that we did
Yeah.
one of these. Okay, so
It's called foreplay, gentlemen.
right. 1000% Lacey would get knocked the fuck out, guaranteed.
For $1 billion? Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I don't.
Look,
There's very few things you're not gonna get me to do for $1 billion.
let me
Right.
flip the
$40,
script.
no, but you know, $1 billion, fuck yeah, dude. $1
Let-
million.
Let me
probably,
flip
yeah.
the script. I would punch my girl in the face for not hitting me for $1 billion.
Right.
If she was given that opportunity, I would say, you can stab me with a fucking knife in a non-vital spot. Do it. I'll deal with it, and we're gonna be happy afterwards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro,
Like that's
I would,
yeah.
I would punch Lacey, Amber, and Hannah all in the face at the same time for $1 billion,
And I'm pretty sure that they
and
I
probably
can't
all
speak
of
for
our
Amber.
kids too.
They'd all line up probably and be like, yeah, go ahead. Come on, let's
Yeah,
go.
absolutely. We'll split this even, and it's gonna be not a problem.
Yeah, because $1 billion is way more than enough. We're talking 300 million if we split it, and fucking that's still more than enough.
I can buy you a new face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, this is again where we have to take the conversation. How low will you go? Thanks, Ludacris, for the song lyrics. But
Right.
like, I feel like we're getting into the 5-digit territory where I would absolutely consider it.
You're right.
90
we
grand
are on the same
or
brain
10
waves.
grand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I could turn down the 10 grand.
Yeah, I mean,
To be honest, like not, but that's like, I wouldn't do it if my girl wouldn't be behind me for it. But I feel like
one mortgage payment.
my fucking woman is a dog.
I fix that house, man.
She's the boss, man, on this sort of shit. She probably would be like, $500, fucking pop me right now in the jaw. Like,
so that's the thing, though. For $1 billion, I'm fucking leaning into it, and we're gonna make sure that this punch counts.
yeah.
And we're getting $1 billion. For
Now
500, for 10 grand, I'm like, all right, here we go.
Now I have to have the conversation with her after this, which, you know, there might be another video of me getting hit with an inanimate object or something like that to come from this. But
I would do it on national television like that boxer in that first video.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
Respect for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone is going to be like, respect. We get it. No problem. All righty. Matt, you got anything else?
Remember, there's never any reason to hit a woman. Sorry.
Yeah. You know, unless they consent.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And
you're naked.
You got anything else to go over, Matt?
Honestly, no, you guys really did lead it up today. I think I don't really have any other topics to talk about.
Okay. Well, I might kind of set you up then.
All right. Perfect. I like it.
All right. Is there any way, Matt, that you can tell me anything about this person?
That's my boy, dude.
Is that
seen him in the short hair like that, though, to be honest?
Have you
Like
seen
that
more like this?
Yeah, that was that is actually more along. Yep, that's him. That's him. That's
him?
the one. That's the Michael I remember.
What about these young fellas?
Oh God, you got all of them in there. That's his new crew too, man. That isn't his like 2013.
What the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah. So again, Matt's wife Lacey's out here and telling us great stories. Now, like I said, I'm setting you up for this because Lacey was a great storyteller. I can only imagine that you could do a better job. So please enamor both myself, Mike, and the audience with the tale of your happenings.
Honestly, this story is really long. I'm gonna try to give you the short. No, not the short, but the good story. So, as some of you may know, I bought an RV and I started renting it out recently.
No fucking way! I know where this is going.
Yeah. So I bought my RV last May, and the first rental I ever had was I got a little phone call, or not a phone call. I'm sorry, a request from. And he
great name, by the way.
Right. He wanted to rent the RV to go down to visit his family. They do a family trip every year down to Texas and back, and they wanted to rent it for I think like 2.5 weeks or something like that, 3 weeks. I can't remember what it was.
I think Lacey had said something like a week or something like that.
No. It was like 3 weeks.
But later documents proved otherwise.
Right. It's a very entertaining story. So anyways, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna make like $5,000 on this, on this rental. It's gonna take us out for like 5 months. We won't have to make no payments on this thing. So we booked the reservation. So yada yada. I got everything ready. The day of the reservation, or the day that they're supposed to come pick up the RV, he calls me and he's like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to make it there. Our flight got delayed. my cousin is going to come and pick it up. Is that okay? Right. And mind you, super respectful. Like there's definitely ways to go about it. I told him straight up, I was like, I don't honestly know. I have to call, the rental company we use and make sure that this is okay. So I called them. They're like, yeah, as long as he gets verified, he can, jet. I can't remember.
That sounds like it's made up as well.
Inconsequential, but go for it.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm like, yeah, get him verified and he can pick it up. He's like, great. So we got him verified and Jesse shows up and he's got his ears gauged. He's got tattoos up his neck. And so my first initial thought was like, I hope I didn't make a mistake. Right. But I'm also not going to judge him because
can't judge
how many tattoos you guys got? You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Have fun. Take my RV, take care of it, yada, yada. And it's a 32-foot Class C, so it's a drivable one. It's pretty big. So I go through to take literally 3 hours with this guy, teaching him everything about the RV, how to work it. He's very receptive, nice guy, super nice guy. That's one thing I will say about them and this whole story is none of them disrespected me to my face or anything like that. To my face. Yeah, to my face, right? We'll come back to that.
Story.
But so on and so forth. So he takes my RV, and I told him, obviously one of the rules is you can't tow, you can't do a bunch of different things with this RV because insurance, and this is $100,000 vehicle. Like you wreck it, if the insurance company finds a way to not have to pay that cost, they're going to, right? So,
I can guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike probably knows that firsthand.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so and of course I have a GPS tracker on it too, right? So, they take the RV, and the next morning I'm watching the GPS like a hawk. And by the way, Lacey is like, you're being too much. Like, you don't need GPS. You don't need this. Stop watching it, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, no, fuck that, right? So they go up to Nashville. I watch them go to Nashville. And and the next morning I look and I see the GPS go to U-Haul. And I'm like, the fuck are they doing at U-Haul? Come on. Like, they can't be, like, getting a trailer or anything, right? Like, there's no way. So I call RV Share. Well, that's the company I use. By the way, I like RV Share a lot. If you ever want to rent your trailers, it's not a plug for them. They don't pay me, but RV Share is a.
It could be a sponsor.
They could be a sponsor of this show, though, man.
Maybe. And they were excellent, by the way, in this whole processing. Like, absolutely. So, anyways, carrying on with the story, call them like, hey, I'm pretty sure my renters they're renting a trailer and they're gonna tow with my RV. And then they're like, well, that's against the rules. If it's true, then you can repossess the RV because, if they are towing and they get in an accident, there's a good chance that they could void your insurance, So I was like, okay, cool. So I need to figure out what the fuck's going on. Mind you, I'm at work. Lacey's at home. This is before she started working. And I'm like, how do I find out what the fuck's going on? They're an hour and a half away. I don't want to just drive up there. So I call fucking U-Haul. And I'm like, hey, yeah, my buddy, he just came up there. His name, he was picking up a trailer, and I'm just trying to see what size trailer it was because I don't think he's going to get a big enough one. And the person's like, and by the way, this took me to like corporate U-Haul, like reservations. This wasn't the actual location, right? So he's like, oh, what location? I'm like, oh, this one. And then they look it up and they're like, oh, he picked up a 6x8 or enclosed trailer or a 4x8 enclosed trailer. I'm like, oh man, I don't think I'm going to try to get a hold of him right now. I don't think it's going to work. And then I hung up and I'm like, these motherfuckers, dude. I was pissed. So at this point, I call RV Share back. I'm like, they're towing. I want to repossess it. And I need to figure out what's like, what do I need to do? And they're like, all right, check it out. You got to get a picture. You got to get proof that he's doing it. Because if he finds out that you're going to try to go repossess this trailer from him and he disconnects it before you get there and you don't have any proof, then you don't have no leg to stand on. So I'm like, fuck. All right. Now what's the plan? So I seen where he was staying at a hotel.
Which is weird to me because you have the RV.
Right. Exactly. Right. So same here, but I seen them drive to the rewind a little bit. The night before, I seen them drive to Nashville, and they went into some really sketchy neighborhood and parked there all night long. So I don't know what the fuck where they went there, and then they went to the hotel the next morning. So I assumed that the other party members were flying in, and they just stayed in the hotel because they got in late or whatever it was.
Sure.
So, anyways, I seen the RV after U-Haul go to the hotel. So I called the hotel, and I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to meet up with my buddies, and I think they're at your hotel, but I don't know if this is the right one. Can you tell me if there's an RV out there with a trailer hooked up to it?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you out." She goes and looks, and then sure enough, there's fucking sitting out there. He's like, "Oh yeah, they're out there. It looks like they're loading it up right now, loading up the trailer." I'm like, motherfuckers, right? So I'm like, "Hey, can you get a picture for me?" Like, well, I broke character. I was like, "Hey, look, check it out. This is what's happening. That's my RV. They're not supposed to be towing. I don't know if you're allowed to do this or not, but can you take a picture and send it to me? I really need a picture of this." So she's like, "Yeah, sure thing, honey. I'll call you back." So she's like, "I got your back." Now, I don't know what happened after she got off the phone. I don't know if management came in and was like, "We can't do this. They're paid." I don't know what happened, but she called me back like 15 minutes later and said, "I wasn't able to get a picture. They already left," is what she said. So whatever that is, she was helping me out anyway. So I fucking got in the car. And I said, "Get in the fucking car, Lacey. We're going." And we just took off for Nashville, dude.
Okay,
And that was
so
the
real
most.
quick here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Her events of the story at this point was that you called and said, "Get someone to watch the kids. We're going to get this fucking vehicle." And she said that she felt bad or awkward because she had to go to the neighbors last second and be like, "Can you watch the kids?" And while doing that, sitting outside, that you came screeching through the neighborhood like a bat
yeah.
out of hell.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Lacey, get in the fucking car."
Yeah, dude.
You boys like Mexico?
like we were about to rob a bank, dude. I was
Yeah.
fucking amped up. I was amped. I was ready to go. Right. And now imagine having all that adrenaline and still having a 2-hour drive ahead of you. You know what I mean?
And you're just fucking stewing the
Yeah,
whole time.
It's like being rock hard, ready to fuck, but your wife's like taking a shit, so she's taking forever to get into the bed. Like that. That is what it was.
Interesting euphemism, but all right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. She takes long
Yeah.
poops. That's all. Anyways, also, I also texted him prior to this too. She probably told you about that. So I actually, when he was at the U-Haul, I sent him a text because RV Share just said, "Remind him of the rules." This is before I knew he had the trailer. And I was like, "Hey, just want to make sure you guys got all together safe. Just a few reminders. Don't use the awning. Don't do this. Make sure you guys aren't towing and blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Yep, got it. Thanks, man. We'll see you in a few weeks." Right. So anyways, we fucking storm up there to Nashville, and we get all the way up to Nashville, and there they stopped at a Walmart, and I was like, "All right, I really want to catch them at the Walmart. That way, we're not driving or doing anything crazy or anything like that." We get off the highway, right, and start heading towards the Walmart. Well, they had just pulled out of the Walmart and got straight back on the highway, and I was like, just missed them, right? So they get on the highway, and I'm like Dukes of Hazzards, dude. I'm trying to fucking catch this fucking RV. So I get back on the highway. We're heading north. We're in Franklin, Tennessee, headed up towards Nashville.
Now,
And
at what point in time did you guys call the cops?
So when I got into Franklin and I seen them pulling back onto the highway, I was like, okay, I'm obviously not going to do something stupid and run my own RV off the road, right? I'm not going to do anything like that. Like, what do I do if they don't stop? Like, once I announce that I'm there, because I'm going to text them and probably like just pull it beside them and like, do I wave them down? What do I do? So I called the cops then, and I was like, "Hey, this is the situation. I'm going to repossess my vehicle, and I don't know how this is going to go. So I just want you guys to be aware, and what should I do?" And they basically said, "At this point, we can't do anything. Like, but if they don't pull over, then you can
Report it
report it
stolen.
stolen. Yeah, you can report it stolen." I was like, "Okay, perfect. That'll work." You know what I mean? Like at that point, it'll be covered under my own insurance if I report it stolen, and if I'm trying to get my vehicle back. So
Did they tell you that you had to let them go for X amount of exits or something like that?
that was something that I kind of deemed myself. They just said basically they said they're like, don't do anything fucking stupid, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no incident we can't get involved. But that we are now aware. So I kind of wanted them to just come up. I was just going to follow them and have them come and meet me, but they wouldn't necessarily do that until I reported it stolen. So I get on the highway. I finally catch up to them, and Lacey's recording. She's like, record. And you know how Lacey is, dude. She is anti-confrontational. She is like not liking this at all, right?
She also said that you were amped up and narrating. This is Matthew Cooper. Today's date is this. In front of me is my RV.
I got the video somewhere.
Which I asked for the video.
Yeah.
She says she has a new phone, but you probably have it. And I don't think you're going to be able to get it available right now, but maybe for next episode.
Next episode, we need to fucking see this. That could be the way we start the next episode.
Oh, God. All right. You know what? Next episode, I'll get you videos of that encounter and my face-to-face encounter with him. At our destination where we ended up.
So continue on.
Continuing on. So I am narrating because I want all the evidence. I want all the proof, right? So she's recording. I'm like, all right, we're coming up. We're doing 70 miles an hour. Like, there's the license plate number, And at this point, I don't think they don't know where I'm there, And I'm just right behind them, just doing the speed limit. And I'm like, yeah, and not supposed to be doing more than 55, And there's the U-Haul. So I text him, or I had Lacey text him, basically like, you are in violation of our contract. I'm repossessing the vehicle. I have informed the police. Please pull over at the next available exit, right? Very formal. So I can collect our property. And we sent that. And then they passed one exit. Then they passed the next exit. And I'm like, I'm fucking getting amped up. I'm like, no, dude. Most likely they probably just didn't see it at that point.
And to reconfirm for the audience here, your RV, brand new, 6 figures, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I spent $115,000 on this thing. You know what I mean?
Imagine if you're watching this, someone is essentially potentially stealing, we'll say, 6 figures from you. You're probably gonna fucking be a little amped.
Very much,
dude. It's a 2023. It's brand new. We've only had it for a month. Yeah. That's it. Like, we just got this thing. Go ahead, Mike. You say you have a question?
No. Go ahead, brother.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going up beside him. She's like, no, don't. I'm like, no, we're fucking going. So I fucking get blinker, right? Okay. And I even announced it. Blinker coming on.
Blinker. Make sure the cops know that I'm following the
right. I'm
rules.
like, I'm not getting in trouble for this at all, right? I want to know, like, I did everything right. Pull up next to him, and I see Jesse driving, and he's just, and I honk the horn, and he looks over, dude, and he's just like in disbelief. You know what I mean? That my crazy white ass was up there fucking chasing him down. And all I did was look at him, and I was like, and he's like, and I pulled up in front of him with my blinker, and I got off the exit, and he followed right behind me. He followed right behind me, and we pulled off into a Home Depot parking lot, which, by the way, they did have rental trucks there, right? So
Lacey did make that point that you were like, oh, they got rental vehicles here. I don't want to leave them high and dry with this trailer and they can't do anything.
Exactly.
So it's good that we're going to a Home Depot.
Yeah. So we
You're way fucking nicer than I would have been, Matt.
Yeah, such a
right. Well, I mean, I contemplated just making them stop right on the highway, but I was like, you know what? This could play bad for me. So
it could be unsafe.
And obviously, like, I don't like that's dangerous for everybody involved, including my property and my wife and myself. And as much as these people piss me off, I'm not trying to hurt nobody. You know what I mean? Like, if they wouldn't have pulled over, I would have simply just got back behind them, called the police, and we would have went to Texas together. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Because I filled up. So we were going. Anyway, so we pull off, and
And that's
I
the thing
pull into-
is they left Nashville, right? And didn't head to Texas where they said they were going.
No, so they went to Nashville, where I'm assuming they all got together and got in the RV, and then they went down to Franklin for whatever reason. Which Franklin, I think, is like probably like 20 minutes, 30 minutes south of Nashville, and went to Walmart where they basically stocked up on whatever they were going to be using, which was a shit ton of booze and whatever else, food and everything else, and then they were headed back north to Nashville.
So they
I
were
was
going to
like,
go play a small tour, and
Right.
you were providing the tour bus.
yeah, and that part's coming, Mike. Don't ruin all the surprises, okay? So at this point, no idea about anything other than the fact that these dudes, well, I'm assuming I only knew of Michael and Jesse at that point. I didn't know anyone else, right? Michael and Jesse, two Caucasian males, right? That's it. That's all I knew. That
I like how
comes
you
into
throw
play
that out.
too, right? Caucasian. This is all I knew.
Yep.
And we go into Home Depot, and they get out of the car, or I get out of the car, and I'm pumped, dude. I'm ready. I'm like, Lacey, don't stop recording. Record everything. I was like, because I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm ready for fucking anything, dude. I'm ready to fucking scrap anything. So I get out, I go, and Michael comes right out of the RV, comes straight up to me, and the first thing he says, like, wow, you're a big dude, man. Like, you're really big. I'm like,
and describe Michael's size. We've seen the pictures.
So Michael
I'll pull this up again.
Yeah.
But describe his size to the people.
Michael is an average height individual, slightly, I don't want to say frail, but he's not thick. He's a very, very pale, dark hair. There you go. That's basically what it was that he came out, but minus the eye makeup. He didn't have the eye makeup on, you know. So he
Sweet
comes
forehead,
out
that too.
right, and and he's right. He comes straight up. He shakes my hand. He's like, "Oh, I'm Michael." You know, he's like, and he immediately goes into apologetic mode. Right? He knows that he's wrong, which was very relieving to me, because I was like, "All right, we're not going to have to fight here," you know, because he's trying to take the man route through it. And to be honest, he was well spoken, and he.
I think Lacey described him as being like 90 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, that's basically what it was, you know. And so I just told him, I was like, look, man, you guys broke the contract. I'm repossessing the vehicle. And he tried to talk. He's like, well, you know, we weren't going to be towing it. Like, we just needed it to get our stuff from the hotel, or from the airport to the hotel. We're not taking the trailer anywhere. It's just this one day. I'm like, look, I don't believe you. I can't trust you at this point. Like, whether or not, it's like, you put my family financially at risk by towing this vehicle. If you wreck this and the insurance didn't cover it, like, I would be $100,000 in debt. You know what I mean? Like, and not because I financed it. Like, it's not like I paid cash for it. You know what I mean? So like, I would have to pay that and not have an RV and all this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, nope, you're totally right. I'm in the wrong. I was like, so please unload. He's like, all right, we'll go ahead and unload. He didn't fight me on it at all. So they started unloading, and we recorded the whole thing. And the only real thing to comment during that unloading process is well, as that's happening, they all started filtering out, and I think there was 5 of them, including a female. And at this time, I mean, I didn't know any. They all just looked like 4 white dudes and a white girl. Apparently, one of them
like a
was
mohawk or something, or
all black hair, spiked mohawk. You know, just what I would
emo
describe
thrash
in my
metal
high
band.
school. Yeah, what I would describe in my high school days as gothic. Right, that's the best way to describe
Gothic.
it. It just looked like 5 gothic kids getting out. Kids
Yeah.
too, because they were all frail and young, right? Except for Jesse, who's a little.
Can we go back to the part where you called them gothic? It's goth, Matt. What the fuck?
They all
Whatever,
look gothic.
Gothic.
Whatever, gothic.
Remember,
what I
everybody,
meant.
Matt is a good Christian man, and these are Satan worshiping gothics.
Just wait till I get you guys the videos.
Oh man,
Anyway.
Well, we've seen the pictures, bro. We understand where he comes from.
we get it.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So the female she tried. I don't know what any of their names were. She tried to come up to me as they're unloading and like say like, "Hey, are you sure? Like, we can't just keep it." I'm like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, no." You know, and I don't know what her role. And I think she was just. I don't know if she's the groupie or
Groupie or
whatever.
girlfriend?
Whatever. It didn't matter. I think she. Later on in the story, I do find out that she's apparently the girlfriend, whatever, who has anxiety apparently.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't ruin your story yourself.
Oh yeah, sorry. So, anyways, they're unloading, and I'm recording, right? And she comes out of the RV, and I'm recording the RV. She comes out, and she's like, "Are you recording me?" I'm like thinking to myself, "Bitch, I've been recording this whole time. Like, don't play stupid with me." But of course, I didn't come off like that. I was like, "I'm recording my RV. You're inside of my RV. If you don't want to be recorded, get the fuck out of my RV." I didn't say the F word. I was like, "If you don't want to be recorded, just get out of the get out of the picture," you know. And so she steps out. Nothing really happened after that. As far as there, they just unloaded all their shit, cases of beer, all that stuff, and we unlatched the trailer. And I said, "All right, well, have a good day." They got in the
They
RV
left.
and we fucking drove off, dude. That was that. I
Now,
went
now,
home.
Lacey paused at this situation and she said, and this is to your credit to an extent, that prior to putting the RV up for rental, you had consulted with a lawyer
I did,
and
and
you
I paid a decent amount of money to have a very substantial contract drawn up for rentals. So,
and that Lacey was not necessarily in agreement with you doing this initially.
no, she didn't want to waste the money on it. She didn't want me to do that. She's like, "Why are you buying GPS? Why are you paying someone to write contracts? Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Look, there's a reason why I'm the head of the household and you wash dishes." You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
no!
I didn't say that. I'm sorry, baby.
I can't wait for her to see this.
And she did say this was to your credit, but then she said that on the ride home that you continually goaded her, being like, "Oh, what do you think about that lawyer now?"
Exactly. Like, "Oh, don't get no GPS." Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I thought. Yeah,
Sorry,
she definitely owed
miss
me.
that
Yep.
point.
To
All right,
put it
continue.
plainly, she got the tallow. You know what I'm saying?
Clickbait.
Yeah.
The callback is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So continue on. You take it home.
So
Things are fine and
so
dandy.
we get home and I call RV Share. We handle all the paperwork, and they basically tell me like, "Oh yeah, so you'll still get paid out for the reservation, and also you need to submit your repossession charges." And I'm like repossession charge? Like, I don't know what that is. This is my first rental. I don't know anything about it. So I'm like, okay, let me read through my contract. So reading through my contracts, and sure enough, the lawyer I paid put a nice little clause in there that if I had to repossess any vehicles for any reason
Money.
outside of what we discussed, that you would incur a $3,000 repossession fee uh, on top of any expenses that I had to incur to do this. Right. So I was like, well, I mean, it's in here. So I put it, submitted all that. And sure enough, I got paid out for all of that. Like within 24 hours, I got paid out all of that. So they went in and charged all those messes.
In ballpark
So
net, this was how much money?
about $7,000, I think, 7 or 8 grand total. Like, hold on. That's between the actual reservation and the charges on top, right?
Sure.
So pretty decent for less than 24 hours. You know,
Yeah.
now I say that, and I know that it had to have sucked for them to have to incur that, but at the same time, I didn't want them to be. I don't. It's like, don't do this ever again to an owner. You know what I mean? Like you got to learn your lesson in a way. And like the amount of risk that they put on us was absolutely substantial. So moving forward with it, I think it was a few weeks down the road. At this point, I was expecting something. They told me that they could rebuttal it. Well, they did. They rebutted it, and they came back and they basically said, I can't remember. I can actually probably show you what they wrote. And we could play it out. I could read it as. Anyways, essentially what he had.
He did this.
Essentially, what he had put was that I was lying about it all. That they weren't towing at first. Right. This is the first rebuttal. That they weren't towing because I didn't submit any evidence at this point. I just submitted that I repossessed it. This is why I repossessed it. These are the charges. They did it. He rebutted, denied everything, said that he wasn't towing, that I came up and had prejudice against him and his Mexican best friend, which, mind you, right, the two dudes that I knew prior to this whole thing was just Michael and Jesse, and they were Caucasian white males, right? I don't know if they're cis or not, but right, just going off their appearances. Don't want to misgender.
Sure.
But anyways, so he said that, and I'm like, this is all ridiculous. So then I get a chance to run. The way it goes with RV Share specifically, I don't know how any other platform does it, was basically anybody can dispute a charge and put in a rebuttal. And then if they put in a rebuttal number one, I can then rebuttal back. Or I'm sorry, if they put in a dispute number one, I can do a rebuttal back to that. And then they can do
real quick with that first dispute. You said that they claimed that you were being prejudiced, that they weren't pulling the trailer. What about the girlfriend?
that the girlfriend was put under a lot of stress and she has anxiety, and that I caused her undue stress and this, that. I don't remember the verbiage he used,
Panic
but
attack
basically that I put her into a manic depression because of how aggressive, and because and then he even put in there, I don't know if you know Mr. Cooper or Matt or whatever he called me, but he's a 6'6", he's a big guy. And I'm like, I mean, you can't that's fucking irrelevant, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So
you can't say that I'm being prejudiced and doing all this stuff and then come at me with some sort of a size-based prejudice.
Exactly.
Is this
Exactly.
sizism?
Right. That's how my dispute went. My rebuttal went back to him, was basically from there, because then at the end of the rebuttal, you put what you want from it, like what your requested resolution is. And the idea would be that I would come back with my rebuttal, and then he would either agree with whatever I say and say, okay, that's what we'll agree upon. And if he doesn't, he can do a second rebuttal or a second dispute, and I do a second rebuttal. And if we don't agree, then RV Share will be the arbitrary, like they'll decide what to do at that point. And if we don't agree there, it goes to court, right? So I basically sent the evidence. I didn't send all evidence. I sent the evidence I needed to dispute what he had said. So I sent the evidence of him towing. I sent the video of my interaction with him, because he said I threatened him. Like, he said I was being all sorts of, that I tried to run them off the road, that all this, that, third. And I basically laid out, why would I run them off the road? Why? It's my RV. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I do this? Why would I do that? Here's the proof of this. Here's the proof of that. Right. And then and I said, I'm not giving them anything back, and I want them banned from RV Share. I don't want any other owner to have to deal with this. So then he responded back and said, well, we were towing, but only for only for like a short distance, yada, yada, yada. So he admitted to it right there in his own words.
Now, in that evidence, had you submitted the U-Haul paperwork that they left in the RV?
No, I didn't submit any of that yet. So, in fact, I hadn't even found that paperwork just yet. Right? Because this was over, Mike, this was before your accident. This is over Christmas, remember?
I think you told me about this. We saw you guys in like February, right? Up here in the Cleveland area.
Yeah. No, it was over Christmas, wasn't it?
Was it Christmas?
I don't fucking remember. When we were there, we were going through it. No. It was
it's when we went to that place and had like the big ass family meal with plantain chips and all that, right?
Oh, yeah. Anyways,
sick invite.
I told you this fucking story was long, guys. You guys wanted this.
Hey, by the way, there's one open to you when fucking training camp happens.
Yeah. Look, I don't know about Mike, but I'm loving the story. I'm loving hearing it a second time.
So, moving on. I give back just the evidence to prove that he was towing and this, that, and third. Well, he responds back, and this is when it gets really fun, right? With basically like I said, well, we were only towing for the short time, and he didn't have to be this way, and he was super aggressive towards us. He basically intimidated us, and I'm an influencer, and I have over 1.2 million followers or 2 million followers. And if anybody, or if this doesn't go the right way, if you don't make this right, then I'm sure they're going to be really upset about hearing about Mr. Cooper's prejudice and racism against my Mexican friend or best friend.
I
or
didn't
whatever
get to hear any of this portion of the story.
Oh yeah,
And-
this
and-
all
and-
happened.
And
afterwards.
meanwhile, I just did a real quick pull up here on Instagram. Official has 30,000 followers, 167,000 followers. So either they had a falling out, or he was full of shit.
He was embellishing it slightly, like most influencers.
Yeah, absolutely. But that neither here nor there. That's still a substantial amount. That's more than
Right.
Lyman Lounge, the Talk, the whole
Yes.
No Sleeves Network at this
Absolutely.
point. No shade there, but I mean, look, we're guys. We all say that we've got bigger cocks than we probably do. It
Right,
happens.
exactly. Like of course it's fucking 9 inches long.
Yeah.
Right.
If
The
you're
rungs
measuring
are
in
just
metric
really
or
far
something.
apart is all.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways.
Absolutely.
So I instantly like, okay, time to do some research. And that's when we went on the search of and why he has such a big following. And that's when we came across Michael. That's when it came across his tour dates, which perfectly aligned with his rental of my RV. And I'm like, this is pretty interesting. Why is these tour dates like this? Then I went and I was cleaning out the RV and I found his U-Haul paperwork that he had rented the U-Haul trailer with, which by the way, he said he only had for 1 day, which actually he had rented for actually plus 1 day of the entire time he was supposed to have my RV. And it even stated the RV on the paperwork and the license plate of my RV on the paperwork. So we find all this. And by the way, to give you a little backstory, whenever you rent your RV out, you can put certain rules on there. Mine specifically states no music festivals unless, sorry, let me rephrase that. No music events or sporting events unless specifically authorized, right? That's what it says on there.
Because
So
you don't want
now,
someone going to Country Thunder and fucking not showering
Exactly.
for a week and soaking their sweat and balls and jizz and beer into your fucking RV. Absolutely
Exactly.
understandable. But if fucking an old couple wants to go to
NASCAR.
some Beatles reunion tour and enjoy themselves, maybe that's okay with you. But it's your choice.
I gotta tell you though, the Beatles reunion tour is going to be a little thin. The Beatles members are starting to wear down.
Right.
Yeah,
That, I couldn't come up with a good, Huey Lewis in the news or something like that. I don't know.
Exactly. So
All I ever think about is, "Hey, Paul," and then
basically, after finding all that information, I put it all together in one beautiful rebuttal packet, and sent it on over.
It was beautiful. It was the best packet.
It was the best packet.
He was a dog.
he died like a dog.
So, and I laid it out, and I broke out my GPS, and I fucking laid out every piece of information on the GPS, their stops, everything they did. I laid out every phone call I had with RV Share, every communication I had. Like I had a spreadsheet. I probably spent like a good 8 hours building this packet to make sure that it was fucking good to go. You know what I mean? And I sent it on over, and that was it. I never heard back from him. One other thing, I did actually go and file a police report. So I was unsure because he had my address, he had all my information, he had all of this, and I was like, okay, God forbid he does something stupid, announce my address, my information on there.
Potential 1.2 million followers have some sort of retributory
And I-
actions.
And I wrote that in there too. I was like, now in my rebuttal, I was like, now I have to fear repercussions for my 4 children. That they might get in. Something might happen to them because he has all my personal information. And I even put in there too. I will be filing a police report for slander and damn, what's the other one? The written one,
Libel.
libel. Exactly. And and I'm going to file that just to make sure that this doesn't happen. So that's what I did. I went and filed that. So, and from there, I think like 2 months later, I never heard anything back on it for like 2 or 3 months. And RV Share reached out and told me that basically they sided with us from what I knew, at least on the charges that I had put, but they're reviewing the charges because he claimed them as fraud on his credit card. So his credit card was what he had on file that got charged. He filed with his credit card that it was all fraudulent. So then the credit card and RV Share then had to hash out
Deal with that
truth
fucking
versus
fiasco,
Nice.
So, and then that's it. That's the end of the story. So,
But a fantastic story. And the first thing I said to Lacey, I was like, I'm fucking surprised that after that whole thing that you guys went ahead and put your RV back on the market to be rented, because
Fuck yeah,
that being your first client would be like,
Tough.
what the fuck?
dude, I made over $7,000 in less than 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like the thing is, here's
Yeah, but you
what
had to work a lot harder for that $7,000 than you really wanted to.
I did have to work a lot harder on it, but I've done more for less.
That's true.
We
That's
were
very
living
true.
out there.
So the one thing about it is, if anyone out there, if you guys got an RV or a trailer or anything like that, I 1000% recommend renting it out. It will pay for itself. I've never paid for my RV. It's all been covered through rentals. I actually have a rental going out. It's in the driveway. The RV's in the driveway because I have a rental going out this weekend. Just do your due diligence. That's all it is. Like if you stay on top of it, you put the right numbers out there, the right deposits, the right this, you're going to get the right people. You know what I mean? That rent your stuff. And since then, honestly, I've had nothing but amazing renters since then. And they've treated my equipment amazingly. And that's just the one thing you have to remember is it's just fucking equipment. You know what I mean? Like as long as you do your due diligence, you don't look at it as personal property. You look at it as an asset. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Now, and again, real quick, the minimal damage from this event, right? Other than their boots or something like that. Fucking
Yeah,
a little bit.
So they had fucking these boots on that had chains on them, right? Like gothic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they damaged my floor slightly. I didn't realize it fully at first. Like I looked down at my floor and I seen, okay, it looks like it's kind of roughed up a little bit. And sure enough, like I think now that I'm more experienced with RVs and everything like that, I'm like, yeah, they fucked my floor up with their boots, but I made enough off of it to cover those damages. So I'm not super concerned. That's all that came from it though, was just the floor and their fucking boots.
Nice.
So other than that, like some people, like I heard people like their music though. We should get shirts.
Hey,
They
look,
sell good merch.
I did a recap of this story with Hannah last night, and we pulled the Spotify right up and listened, and they're not terrible. If that's your genre of music,
yeah,
they're not bad. They're
I was going to tell you guys on Tuesday night, Amber and I are actually going to go out. We're going to try to have like a very late date night. It's on a Tuesday night, but it was the only night that we can. It's the only night we can get reservations at the restaurant we were supposed to go to for our anniversary. And there's a concert at the House of Blues down here in Cleveland. Jairus Johnson was who we saw, so we're like, oh, that's gonna be fucking great. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
But the headliner, Kim Dracula.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know shit about Kim Dracula. I know it's a man though, which confused me at first because I heard Kim. No, it is a white man that looks very much like the individual that was on our screen earlier.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
they might be running in similar circles. Kim Dracula, fucking what the fuck his name is.
Yeah. The only
all
thing
I know is I'm
Go,
gonna
go.
be on a documentary one day as that fucking asshole who almost ruined.
Yeah, they're gonna have
VH1 behind the music.
biopic,
Yeah,
a biopic about an exclamation point at the end. Can't forget
right.
that.
Yeah, that's a
Now,
part of the
now,
trademark.
it sounds like you
Everywhere.
handled this really well. And being
Yeah.
military men, I think that we can all agree that probably some of your experience in the military allowed you to be as thorough with handling this as you were.
Absolutely.
The one thing that you didn't do that I really felt like you should have is you should have taken that RV and parked it outside one of the venues and gone and enjoyed a concert.
It's so funny you say that because I literally almost did that. Like, I was like, I talked to a few of my buddies here, so I was like, let's get shirts. Let's go up there, and I want to be in the front fucking row. And I just want to fucking cheer them on from the front row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I should have done
That'd be
that.
fucking hilarious. I love the pettiness of that as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, look, that story definitely took up a hunk there, and I think it was fucking awesome.
It was great. Guys, I did have one other thing, but we don't have to do that. I was going to suggest a possibility of a regular segment to kind of cap off the show.
Okay.
A single round of Would You Rather. But we're going to play it the same dumbass military rules, so they're going to be fucked up options.
Perfect.
Naturally.
That's the only way.
Let's fucking go for it.
All right. Matt, do you know who Aaron Donald is?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking a wide receiver?
Nope. Ray Lewis. Tell me the most feared defender that you know, because I have to adjust this because I wasn't sure
Myles
if you were
Garrett.
going
I
to
know
know.
what you're talking about now. The feared defender. Who's
In the NFL.
Myles Garrett. He played for the Browns.
Yes.
Yeah,
He also hit the guy in the head with a helmet.
Defensive end, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All right. So, would you rather take a full speed hit from Myles Garrett while he's in pads and you're in nothing?
Oh God.
Or let Lionel Messi, soccer player, kick you square in the nutsack?
Oh God.
Evo, this goes to you as well, but I had to make sure Matt knew the circumstances of who was hitting him.
Yeah.
Sure.
I honestly think that it would have to be like my nuts are already disconnected because I've gotten the snippy. I think I'm taking the nut tap. And I know it's not a tap. It'd probably be like a nut nuclear explosion. But getting hit like that full body from anybody, any defensive end, especially Myles Garrett, which I think he almost took Defensive Player of the Year, right?
He did take Defensive Player of the Year. That's Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Like
Real quick,
6'4", 270.
Where are we at? I've got Aaron Donald in here somewhere mixed amongst Michael. There we go. That's Aaron Donald as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So getting hit like that is a 100% multiple night stint in the hospital, right?
Him in
Some
full
broken
pads, you
bones.
in no pads.
Right. Yeah. No pad. Like we're in the hospital. There's broken ribs. There's punctured organs. If I get kicked in the nuts by Messi, I think he's big with USA soccer now, right? Didn't he just?
No, yeah, he came over to Real Miami or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
and MLS is popular again because
Right.
now there's a star from Europe over here. Or
so that's not to take away from his sheer nut destruction that he could produce with his foot, but I do think that I would have a bruised pelvis, maybe.
Or shattered pelvis.
Well, I don't know. I feel like your pelvis bone is going to be stronger than your foot bone.
I don't know because, and I know that we kind of ran through AIT around the same time, but allegedly one of the 15 whiskey gals made her way over to the Marine barracks and had a train run on her, in which during the train, the bed broke and her pelvis was broken by those Marines. And she was there from the day that I got there to the day I left 20 some odd weeks later. because of a broken pelvis. So if a couple Marines, given her a good old thrashing, can break a pelvis, I would assume
but
that a professional athlete of the leg could possibly snap a pelvis. But
well, she
maybe
was
she had
probably
osteoporosis or just a
she
whore.
was probably
Um,
vegan and she had weak bone density. That and also 2 Marines pounding on a pelvis, a
and I
single
think 2
small
Marines
pelvis.
is a light number
Right,
from
exactly.
reports.
So I mean, yeah, there could be a broken pelvis, but I still think that that's the better option.
That's interesting. And for you and your size, I would assume like, and let's not be light about this, you have a little bit of extra muscle, we'll say, on
Yeah,
you.
yeah. No, it's low
You're a big
density
boy.
muscle.
Yeah.
Slightly fluffy, lighter than water.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I float, you know.
Mm.
So
So for me, in this instance, I'm taking the
300
hit.
pounds.
I'm taking the hit from the football player.
Yeah.
I value. Look, my body's already wrecked. Thanks, Army. Like I've got musculoskeletal issues out the ass, fucked up back, things like that. And those are probably going to be severely aggravated, if not completely worsened permanently from the hit. That potential is there. I also, having played football enough, know how to take a hit to an extent. Like there's ways that you can recoil correctly and fall correctly where you're not going to take as much damage. But I'm not saying by any means that I'm not coming out of that fucked up. But despite having such a small target area, Lionel Messi would probably destroy my stuff to the point where I don't know if I could ever have sexual pleasure again. That's a problem. I would
That's
like
true.
to have kids of my own someday. That's a problem. And I believe that the hit from an Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, or Ray Lewis, or you know, LT
Ronnie
or something
Lott,
like that.
insert, yeah, anybody.
Yeah, I would probably be hurting for a while, but I would not be suffering the injury to my manhood where I can no longer have that sort of satisfaction. And to me, that's worth it. Um, and I have been hit by players in football that have gone on to play D1 and things like that. Like I've not saying that I know a professional hit, not in that scenario without pads and things like that, but I've taken some pretty bad ones before.
Yeah.
And I can speak for Mike for sure. And I believe you as well, Matt. You know, car accidents, you guys have been through some pretty severe car accidents. And,
Oh yeah.
you know, those things will fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can recover from that. And I don't know that my peen would ever recover from a Messi hit. I imagine that kick. Like, we're not just talking about rupturing the testicles. Like, my dick, for what little there is, I would imagine would be like hitting a Vienna sausage with a sledgehammer.
Just fucking
Yeah.
Gone. Just gone.
Yeah.
And I don't think Elon's invented super awesome dick transplants yet.
Yeah,
Because
cybernetic dick
otherwise,
hasn't come out
I
yet.
right now would be walking around with a hog.
You know, when you say that, I just envision the passengers of Titan 1.
Yeah,
That being your penis.
very much so. Yeah,
Yeah,
my
just
dick essentially
straight
would be
meat
a
mist.
much smaller submarine going to see the Titanic.
Right.
This one was actually really tough for me because of the car accident. I think Miles might actually fucking kill me. Aaron Donald would probably also fucking kill me based on the things that have happened to my internal organs. But at the same time, the internal organs that were really fucked up was my bladder, and taking that kick might just, I don't know what's going to do. If it bursts my bladder again, just fucking kill me. Like, I'm not doing it again.
Think of it this way. You potentially escaped death with that car accident already. And if you got hit again by a football player, that could be the end of your life. But if you are dick/ballless, do you even want to live?
Yeah, that's where this gets real tough.
That's true.
I got to tell
it
you.
It becomes a decision then.
I think that I'm probably taking the kick to the nuts.
Right.
It's not. This is going to be the worst thing that's ever happened in my entire life. This is probably going to be worse than the car accident. But I can't risk getting fucking hit because that's going to be like another goddamn car accident. Getting hit by a football player with no fucking pads on.
Yeah. Well, I'll feel bad for you guys rolling around in my wheelchair while I'm still getting pussy.
Yeah. I don't need my balls anymore, dude. We're not having kids.
As you can recall, Evo, after Mike's accident, he wasn't getting pussy either because he had a straw coming out of his dick.
That is correct.
So
true, but it's just for a short time frame.
This is true. It is.
I mean, short is relative.
Yeah. Well, short is
objectively and subjectively.
It's short.
Do you miss the catheter, by the way?
Fuck no, dude. No.
What's that called, Evo? Whenever
sounding.
You
I know. Yeah, it's sounding, and it's gross.
And
it's
thanks
not
for going
fun.
to me direct on that.
Yeah.
I knew you.
And it's not from personal knowledge. It's just from experience of the world. You know. Yeah, I've been to Europe. I've been all around. You know, they do different things, different places.
You know, if I have a question about it, about anything, I just come to Evo. He's got the answer.
Yeah,
yes.
Probably been through it.
You know, that actually reminds me of yet another conversation I had with your wife this week at work where she was like, what the fuck? But that's probably for another time. This was a great episode, boys. I love it.
I was.
Yeah, it was good, man.
All right.
I enjoyed this one.
Awesome. Well, Matt, you did our intro. Why don't you take us out, big guy?
All right.
You carried the brunt of the story in this one, so go.
Yeah,
for
you
it.
did.
Well, it's been over an hour and a half, and I have drank more than enough whiskey for a Wednesday night. Yep, it is.
Yep.
Too much.
That's
whiskey.
how you know you drink enough.
So, thanks for listening. And I forgot the out. What do you?
Where the fuck you want it to be, big dog?
Hey, peace
out
the
of here.
fuck out, guys. We'll catch you next time.
All right,
See you.
later.
Hard work.